Hey everyone! Welcome to Update X24H, your go-to channel for the latest news, hottest dramas, breaking stories, and all the buzz from the world of entertainment. We're here to keep you updated, entertained, and always in the loop. Hit that subscribe button and join our growing family, because here at Update X24H, we bring you the news that matters, the drama you love, and the stories you can't miss. Thanks for being part of our community. Let's stay connected, stay updated, and keep the good vibes rolling. It's not just fashion anymore. It's a pattern, a rhythm, and maybe even a secret message. Because once again, Lu Yuning and Zuer are making headlines. Not for a new drama, not for a red carpet event, but for what they're wearing. Yes, they've matched again. Same tones, same styles, same understated elegance. But this time something's different. It's not just their clothes aligning. It's their timing, their energy, and perhaps their hearts. So ask yourself this: how many wardrobe coincidences before it becomes something more? Let's dive into the clues, because this story might just be the quietest love letter in entertainment. It began like many celebrity sightings do, quietly, almost unnoticed. Lu Yuning stepped out on an ordinary afternoon, clad in a muted sage green trench coat, his look effortlessly understated yet distinctively refined. There was a softness to his presence, a kind of still confidence, captured in the subtle fall of fabric and the way the sunlight caught the silver on his sunglasses. It might have been just another stylish moment, until hours later, Zuer appeared on the opposite side of the city wearing a coat strikingly similar in both shade and silhouette. At first glance, it could be dismissed as coincidence. After all, fashion is cyclical. Styles repeat. But attentive fans didn't miss the quiet mirroring. The same gentle green tone, a matching simplicity in their footwear, and perhaps most curious of all, identical swallow-shaped enamel pins perched delicately near the collarbone. They weren't promoting a brand. They weren't attending the same event. There was no public reason for them to dress in parallel. Yet, here they were again, as if aligned by something invisible. It wasn't loud. It wasn't obvious. But it felt intentional, intimate even. When public figures like Lu Yuning and Zuer, renowned for their independence and privacy, begin echoing each other in ways that bypass words, it stirs something deeper. In a world saturated with declarations and spectacle, these repeated fashion alignments begin to feel like quiet conversations shared across distance. As if their wardrobes have become a language of their own, one spoken only between them. Perhaps it is nothing more than a shared aesthetic. Or perhaps it's the unfolding of something unspoken. Something far more personal. Because sometimes what draws us in isn't what's said, but what's carefully left unsaid. Patterns rarely lie, especially when they begin to appear again and again, quietly threading themselves into the everyday. For fans of Lu Yuning and Zuer, these patterns are no longer coincidences. They are signals, subtle, consistent, and impossible to ignore. It's in the way their styles complement one another without ever repeating exactly. It's in the quiet synchronicity of details. A matching silver bracelet that catches the light during separate live streams. A pair of near-identical black leather bands worn on opposite sides of the city, yet within days of each other. Even their public appearances seem strangely choreographed, though never officially linked. One week, Zuer arrives at the airport in a slate gray hoodie and soft cream joggers. The next, Lu Yuning greets fans at a rehearsal venue in an outfit that echoes hers almost note for note. Fans collect these moments with care. Side-by-side comparisons, timelines, and even analysis of accessory placement. Not out of obsession, but out of a deep sense that they're witnessing something unfold. Not a publicity stunt. Not a product collaboration. But a story being told in fragments of fabric, metal, and movement. The silence from both stars only adds weight to these clues. They neither confirm nor deny. They offer no explanations. And yet, these alignments continue, quietly slipping into the public eye like secrets waiting to be found. To the casual observer, it might seem playful. To those who followed their journey, it feels like intimacy carefully veiled in style. Because when you look closely beyond the hashtags and headlines, it's not just about clothes or accessories. It's about resonance. Two people who, without ever saying a word, appear to speak the same silent language. And the world can't help but listen. It's easy to underestimate what subtle moments like these can mean to people. For fans, especially those who followed Lu Yuning and Song Zuer since their earliest dramas, the beauty lies not just in the visual harmony of their outfits, but in what it suggests beneath the surface. There is a quiet romance in the repetition, a gentleness in the way they seem to echo each other's presence without ever acknowledging it directly. It's this dance between what is seen and what is felt that captivates audiences across the world. To many, their connection feels like a rare kind of storytelling, one that doesn't rely on declarations or drama, but on the quiet consistency of two lives that seem to move in tandem. When fans notice a shared detail, like a ring worn on the same finger, or an identical filter used on separate photos, it becomes more than just a coincidence. It becomes a chapter in a slow, unfolding narrative. And in a world often defined by speed and spectacle, this kind of subtlety feels sacred. What draws people in is not just curiosity, but emotional resonance. Watching Lu Yuning and Song Zuer from afar, fans feel something familiar. The hope of a connection that doesn't need to be loud to be real. For some, it mirrors their own quiet loves, the ones that speak through gestures and glances. For others, it offers comfort, a reminder that closeness can exist in stillness, that affection can live in the details. They may never say a word about it. They may never confirm what so many already feel. But in their silence, fans have found something unexpectedly powerful. A love story told not through headlines, but through harmony. And that perhaps is why it matters so much. Perhaps the most compelling theory circulating among fans isn't built on gossip or spectacle, but on intention. It's the idea that Lu Yuning and Song Zuer are not simply sharing stylistic coincidences, but quietly crafting a narrative of their own. Not with press statements or red carpet declarations, but with subtle coordinated choices that speak louder than words ever could. To many, it feels less like a publicity stunt, and more like a gentle unveiling. A quiet love story unfolding not in a rush, but in rhythm. In the highly scrutinized world of Chinese entertainment, where public relationships can bring both adoration and backlash, silence often says more than confirmation. Every matching detail, from clothing textures to mirrored accessories, feels like a deliberate brushstroke in a much larger painting, an artwork that only reveals itself to those who look closely. It's a form of connection not meant to shock or go viral overnight, but to endure gently over time. Some call it a soft launch. Others see it as mutual respect, for each other's careers, for their fans, and perhaps for the delicate nature of their bond. Whatever the label, the effect is undeniable. It invites curiosity without forcing it. It inspires devotion without demanding proof. And it creates space for wonder, for speculation, for a kind of engagement that feels both deeply personal and universally understood. What we might be witnessing isn't a secret romance hidden behind locked doors, but a love story told in whispers, shared through fabrics, captured in filters, and stitched into everyday life. It is a strategy, yes, but one not driven by marketing but by meaning. In a world noisy with attention-seeking, Lu Yuning and Song Zuer are writing something quieter, something more enduring. And perhaps that's exactly why it feels so real. While fans have long been captivated by Lu Yuning and Song Zuer's seemingly synchronized wardrobes, a new layer to their possible connection has quietly emerged, shared activities that stretch beyond the realm of fashion. These aren't grand gestures or obvious collaborations, but subtle overlaps that suggest a deeper presence in each other's lives. It's in these understated moments that the quiet rhythm of something more intimate begins to play. Recently, fans noted that both were spotted frequenting the same cafes, days apart, yet always choosing the same table tucked away from the crowd. They've been seen exploring similar art galleries and attending niche exhibitions, events that aren't typical media stops. Even their social media posts have taken on a kind of parallel storytelling. Photos from similar angles, shared love for old jazz records, and a mutual fascination with vintage film aesthetics. These aren't coincidences born from industry trends. They are choices that point to shared interests, possibly shared time. What makes these observations so compelling is not the scale, but the softness. There's something beautifully human about two people quietly aligning their lives through ordinary joys. It reminds fans that connection doesn't always scream. It sometimes whispers in coffee cups, in film posters, in quiet afternoons spent in familiar places. And in an age where celebrity relationships often feel curated and overexposed, this subtlety feels refreshing. It speaks to a bond that values presence over publicity, essence over performance. To fans, these shared moments are not just proof, they're poetry. They feel like real life bleeding gently into the public eye, unfiltered and unforced. So perhaps the story isn't just about matching outfits after all. It's about two lives intertwining in small, significant ways that feel less like a coincidence and more like companionship in its most honest form. At first glance, Lu Yuning and Song Zuer's apparent synchronicity may seem like just another topic for celebrity watchers. But the fascination surrounding their rumored connection goes far beyond entertainment. For many, it speaks to a deeper yearning, a craving for authenticity in a world saturated with spectacle and superficiality. In an age where every moment is filtered and rehearsed, the subtle, unspoken intimacy between these two stars offers something rare, a sense of realness. Audiences across cultures and generations are drawn to stories that reflect their own hopes. Whether it's young adults navigating the quiet complexity of first love, or older viewers reminiscing on relationships built in silence rather than spotlight, there's something universally touching about watching two people possibly falling for each other. Not through grand declarations, but through quiet alignment. The matching outfits, the shared spaces, the mirrored mannerisms, each detail becomes a piece of a bigger picture that viewers are eager to assemble. Not just out of curiosity, but because it taps into something personal. It also matters because it feels like a rebellion against the noise, against the pressure to perform, to overshare, to market every relationship. Lu Yuning and Song Zuer's silence isn't empty. It's deliberate. It invites the audience to look closer, to engage thoughtfully, to connect emotionally rather than passively consume. For many, this story feels like watching a quiet dance, graceful, restrained, and undeniably human. It's a narrative where feelings are hinted at, not handed out. And in that restraint, the audience finds something precious. Space to feel, to hope, to dream. This isn't just about celebrity culture. It's about the way we still long for love that grows slowly, quietly, and sincerely, just as theirs might be doing right before our eyes. So we ask you, do you still believe it's all coincidence? Or are Lu Yuning and Song Zuer building something real, one shared coat, one bracelet, one glance at a time? Could this be the most subtle love story in modern celebrity culture? Let us know what you think. Have you noticed any new hints? What moment made you believe this connection is real? If this story touched your heart or made you smile, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. We're bringing you more stories of human connection, drama, and unexpected emotion, told through the lens of celebrity life. Speech balloon, drop your theories in the comments. Sparkling heart, and remember, sometimes love doesn't shout, just matches. Thanks for watching and see you in the next story.